today with me, I have the one and only BOG. Now, she's a model, she's an actor, and she is, I would say, royalty from Bigg Boss. And I think a lot of you might know her as What Is This Behavior, Pooja? Welcome, Pooja Misrra. Hi, Pooja.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my absolute pleasure. I'm so happy to have you, and I'm so glad you said yes to the interview. So the first question I have for you is, when you started in Bollywood, at your first journey into Bollywood, what were your aims and objectives and dreams when you first came to Bollywood?
Well, I wanted to do films, a lot of them actually, but television has always been something that has happened to me whether I wanted it to or not. So I anchored on almost every channel, that was there, every satellite channel, starting from Sony TV to B4U to Z TV to Star Plus. I've done shows everywhere. And then reality television hit us. So the first reality show that I did was Big Switch, where I was the first runners up. And then came Bigg Boss. Now, when they called me for Bigg Boss, I completely said, no, I don't want to be a part of this show. But then there's a friend of mine called Tanuj Garg, and he brainwashed me and forced me to go in.
Hair smell the hair. Pooja, what is this behavior?
I'm sorry, I kicked it by mistake.
You can't kick it by mistake.
Then pick it up if it bothers
no,
you.
You will pick it up.
You don't tell me what to do.
I can tell you what to do.
You do not tell me what to do.
You
do not tell me what to do.
Or what? Are you going to hit me?
Do you want it?
I don't want it.
Because you're asking for it. You're dying for it. Get off my back. Got it?
Let's go, Shana. Please wait. Pooja, calm down. Pooja, calm down. Pooja, what is wrong with you? Why don't you go? You told me आप ठीक तो हो. What is wrong with you?
Clean it.
I think you're one of the biggest watched persons from Bigg Boss universe. I mean, you've got almost I think it's 7 million views on their on their YouTube. I mean, I think that's pretty impressive. That's pretty viral, babe.
Yeah.
So I mean, you've actually hit home not just with Indian audiences, but the world audience has seen you. And
yeah, it has become really big. Even actors, Hollywood actors are kind of using the phrase "Pooja, what is this behavior?"
Yeah.
And I got to know of it very late, when it had already been, when it was happening. I didn't even know about it. And then I started getting a lot of DMs on my Insta from people in America, people in Europe, people in UK. And that's when I realized this thing has become really big now. It's a rage.
It's
and
a viral explosion.
Yeah, viral explosion. Yeah, you could say that.
I mean, it was
even on TikTok,
it was a Pooja pandemic. I mean, people all over the world are using this phrase now. How do you feel about that?
I feel good. When I said it, I didn't know it's going to be so humongous one day. So I feel good that people have liked the way I've spoken, and they are miming my one-liners and they love it. So I'm like, okay, great.
I mean, I've got friends of mine that still use mooching. Stop mooching off me.
Stop mooching.
Stop mooching. You had some amazing lines from your season. I mean, what I want to ask you about that particular scene that's so famous because of you and your obviously star value, and your non-inhibited way of talking and being. So at that point, like, why did you have that reaction to, I think it's Shonali? I mean, what did Shonali do to piss you off? Like, there was something that she irked you, and that was it.
Brewing, something more than the audience can see.
Exactly.
And what was actually brewing is that they didn't let me into the kitchen. I wanted to make a snack. And Shonali didn't have kitchen duties, but she was like, the kitchen was a playground. She was always there. Nobody stopped her. But they kept on stopping me from making a snack for myself. So I went and I told Amar and Lakshmi, who are my friends. And they came with me and they spoke to this bunch of girls, Mandy, Vida, Rageshwari. And they said that let her make a snack, let her make a sandwich. So they said, come after 15 minutes. So they were really treating me very badly. It was really sloppy, the way they treated me. And then when I finally came to the kitchen and made that snack, they kept on hovering around me like bees, and they kept on provoking me, saying things, double meaning things,
What was
So
it
I lost
about the
it. I
rag?
just,
She was saying there's some rag on the floor. Whose rag is it? She doesn't
yeah,
think it's her rag. Like, what was all that talk? Was that basically poking you further?
poking me further. That's exactly what it was. They were just poking me innumerable times, and then I lost it. And that's it. That's when I broke the broom.
Yeah, you did break that, bro. I think Shonali must have shook her core, which is like, damn, this shit is hitting. What am I going to do now? I'm so glad that you're the kind of person that can laugh at all of this because, things have gone viral for a lot of people and, it can be very traumatic also, when your whole life is being spoken about across the world and you have no control over it. So I can understand that maybe, did you ever feel that, oh my God, what's happening?
Well, yes, it was really tough for me inside that house. I stayed there for 2 months at a stretch, and then I had a re-entry, a second entry with Andrew Simmons, the cricketer. So it was really tough for me because they kept on making a group and kept on targeting me, a little like Kavita this season. But I wasn't like Kavita. I wasn't bossy. I didn't go and throw my weight around for no rhyme or reason. Neither did I act like an inspector of police. I was more chilled out. I was more loving. I kept on making tea for the people who kept on fighting with me, like Pooja, Bedi, Akashdeep, and all. So I really was a nice person, and they kept on targeting me. They kept on targeting me, singling me out and targeting me. Pooja Bedi was after my blood. I mean, in my season, she was after my blood. She, as though, had taken money to come on the show and speak on international television that Pooja Misrra has got a mental illness, which I don't have. But it really seemed that she had come there with that goal. So I had it really hard inside that house. I know how did I spend those 2 months. It was nothing less than hell for me.
I just watched one of your videos. It was an item song you did in a movie called Dil Leke Dekho.
Dekho, dil leke, mera dil leke dekho, right?
Yeah, and I just watched that song, and you're performing so nicely in it. And but then I wanna get down to the dirt. Now the thing is, when I went down just now and I saw the comments, it says, "Oh, you don't have any work that's new." There's all these kind of like taunts that people just put up, cyberbullying I call it. And I get it, everyone gets it. It's become a norm, but it shouldn't be. But how do you feel about all these kind of comments that people just think they can pass on you just because you're in the
Well, isn't it obvious that I'm hardworking? I look good in front of the camera. Then why am I not getting work? There are people who are higher in the hierarchy who are stopping the work from coming to me. Take, for instance, the Bigg Boss season 14. Right now, they're getting old contestants in the house. And right now, my market is so hot. Everybody from overseas wants to see Pooja Misrra back on Bigg Boss. But they won't put me there because they're playing favorites. So there are some people in power who are stopping the work from coming to me, and it's heartbreaking because how hard I work, and I'm a nice girl. I treat my work as worship. I love my work. So after such good qualities, if somebody in power is sitting there and stopping the work from coming to me, it's very heartbreaking. It's very, very heartbreaking. How can they do that? Inside Bigg Boss's house, what did I not go through? And today, after 13 years, they're calling Rakhi Stavan. There's no comparison between her and me. The kind of humor, the kind of entertainment she provides, and the kind of entertainment I provide are poles apart. And people want to see Pooja Misrra back on Bigg Boss. But then again, like I said, they're going to play favorites, they're going to be partial, and that's what they're doing. Who wants to see a Kashmira Shah in the house? Nobody. She's done and gone years ago. I have taken Bigg Boss to America. I've taken Bigg Boss to Hollywood. I've taken Bigg Boss to UK. It's viral there. They've garnered an audience overseas because of my viral clip. And yet they are so thankless that they don't call me back. So it's heartbreaking. Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
avoidance of bringing you on the show might have something to do with the fact that the guy who's hosting the show has got, there's meat in the game there. What do you feel about that?
If something has to change, someone has to speak up. So I spoke up. And now it's died its natural death. Whatever I spoke about Salman or his brothers, it's died a natural death. And so many people come inside the house, they don't even deal with Salman. They come into the house as a guest, or they come into the house, they do their can face Salman. Sunny Leone has come so many times. They've called her on every season. They've called Sonakshi Sinha on every season. They come, they do their thing, and they go. I'm talking about Sunny Leone. She came, she was with the contestants, and then she left. So, it's not such a big deal as people are making it out to be, that I've spoken against Salman so much and this, that. The biggest bone of contention was the Bunk 3. It's over. I'm done with now. Now I've stopped speaking about them. If you might have noticed, it's been over a year. I've kept totally mum. So why are you spoiling my life even further? I'm taking your show to Hollywood, goddammit. The least you can do is call me back on the show and show some respect.
Sure. I hear you. I think the stuff that I haven't seen a lot of your videos out there on this subject because I chose not to watch them, because I thought that, you were definitely going through something. I'm not sure what. I can't be a judge of that. I really can't. I can only ask you, when you were making these videos online, that you were, there was abusive content, there was a lot of said about particular people and what they had done to you. What were you going through mentally at that time to have said those things?
What I was going through mentally was I was feeling extremely suffocated. I was feeling extremely helpless. I wanted a change. I wanted my world to change. And I've always been I've been spearheading change. And I've got no qualms about that because I am courageous. My brother's friends, when they come to my house, they say, you have gone where angels fear to tread, Pooja. You've been so brave. And they pat me on my back. Something that people consider me brave for cannot be a hindrance in my future. It has to, this hindrance, this blockage, this obstacle, this hurdle has to be broken. And through this interview, I hope everybody watches it. Endemol watches it, Colors watches it, and so does Salman Khan. I'm sure you'll tag him. So let them know that let bygones be bygones. Let's start afresh. Let's start a new chapter. Everybody's made mistakes. Let's not get into superiority complexes that they all haven't made mistakes. I've made mistakes. They've made mistakes. We all have grown up from that. And let's move on and start a new chapter. That's all I want to say.
That's a very lovely thought, Pooja. That really is a lovely thought, to just let bygones be bygones. But I guess I have to ask you this question. There were some statements made by yourself that were about, certain acts of criminality against you. Are you still saying that those are still factual and true, or are you saying that that was out of anger and spite? Because I think this is something.
Nothing was out of anger and spite. Everything was the truth, and it had to come out because it was boiling inside me and making me sick. So much of pent up angst makes anybody sick. And it had been going on for a long, long time. Come on, guys. So many years they've been doing all this to me. And ever since after Bigg Boss in 2011, 2012, it has been even more so. They've deported me to Pune. Do you know, I have a beautiful apartment in Bombay, and the society of the apartment, the board of members have restricted me from living in that apartment because they don't want me to stay in Bombay. If I stay in Bombay, I'll sign films. So they force me to stay in Pune, and the up and down that I have to do from Bombay and Bombay to Pune, Pune to Bombay is really tough on my body, on my health, running helter-skelter, 5 hours going, 5 hours coming back. It's really tough, So I want them to kind of wean off all the past, just forgive, forget, and move on, man. Life is too short.
What plans other than Bollywood? Now, if Bollywood wasn't on the cards anymore because of any reasons, for now, what can you do as Pooja Misrra and reach out to your audience that wants to see you? What do you want to do? You've just started a production house. Tell me about that.
Well, I have made TV shows. I've made a show called Abhi To Party Shuru Hai, which was on E24. Then it was on MSTV. And I want to put that show on a good OTT platform. I made another show called Love Sutra, which is this really funny and sexy 5-minute, 7-minute for mobile consumption, to put it on mobiles. And I've already had it on Etisalat in Middle East. So I've written 3 books. I've had my own brand of homemade perfumes, handmade perfumes. I've been doing a lot of work at my end. But now I want to get into television, because I feel television is very nice, very inclusive. They accept everybody. And I thought that with this Bigg Boss, they would be calling me back this season. I was quite sure. And then I hear the list, Kashmira Shah, Arshi Khan, Rakhi Sawant, all third-class people. I am taking them to places. I keep on watching their show and talking about it on Twitter, on my social media. I do so much for them. And then they say, oh, she's got a problem with Salman, and they just cut me off. They can't do that. I'm saying if Salman Khan is watching this show, let him know that I want bygones to be bygones. I don't want to make molehills into castles. Already a lot of valuable years of my life have been lost to all this bullshit. Let's start a new chapter. Let's start afresh and be there for each other rather than fight like cats and dogs. I think the contestants in Bigg Boss's house are already doing that. We don't need to do that any further.
I mean, in the way of sort of making that ends bygones be bygones, would you be open to apologizing for anything you might have said that's offended them, or are you very much standing by all of the accusations that you've made against them? Because it's very important.
See, I've made accusations, but I've also made mistakes, like I said. And even they have made mistakes, okay? What they did to me inside Bigg Boss's house, let me not begin. From molestation to whatnot, I get up one morning and I find a love bite on my collarbone. What was that?
That molestation in the house?
Me and taking advantage of me inside the house on the sets of a TV show. It's a reality show. It's a set, not anybody's house. Let's get real here.
Yeah, it's a set.
All that I've been subjected to inside that house, and then they just pack me off and ban me forever. So that's really heartbreaking, So I wanted to start off with Bigg Boss season 14. And then I want to do more television. I want to do some movies. I'm getting offers for movies and web series, a lot of web series. But the payment scale is too less for me to really come from Pune to shoot with them, So I'm looking for better work. I'm open to television. I'm open to serials also. Good roles, good character roles, good main lead roles. I'm ready to do all of that, because I want to work. I've really worshipped my work, and just certain people can't come in the way and spoil all my hard work of so many years. It's like you work hard 365 days a year into 10 years now, and you can't just wean me off or sign me off or write me off just because certain people in the industry have got some misunderstanding as far as I'm concerned.
I think people just get very shocked, Pooja, by some of the what is this behavior, because what happens, they see this video where you're abusing people and saying that, there's rape allegations in there, there's beating allegations, so what happens is people kind of start subtracting things from you, they kind of go, well, if this person acts like this, is there any truth to it? And if there's truth to it, why hasn't she done anything about it, legally? Because rape allegations are huge. Okay, when I heard,
I have lodged a case in High Court.
Right.
All my cases are there in High Court, but because I'm in Pune, I'm not able to follow up. So they're passing on the dates to a future date all the time. And I'm saying that if you want to clean up all the muck of so many years that has accumulated, I'm giving you an opportunity. If you call me back on the show, you are definitely giving me an opportunity. But I'm giving you an opportunity to forgive your sins. I'm forgiving your sins. So I guess I'm the greater person because forgiver is always the greater one.
One thing before you go, what would you say to your haters, and what would you say to people who are your fans?
Well, to my haters, I would just say that live my life, walk a mile in my shoes, and then tell me whether you feel bad for me or still hate me, So first put yourself in my shoes, then make any judgments. And for the people who are my fans, I want to tell them, I love you guys. You've stood by me. And that means a lot to me because I've been through a lot, too much, in fact. After all that, nobody would be still raring to go, but I am, because I am courageous. I am brave. So thank you for standing by me. And I hope that I get your continued support from here onwards also.
Pooja, all that's left to say is, I hope you all the best for the rest of your journey, because the journey has just begun. As you said, you're doing a new start. You've got a new, respect for yourself. You've got a new, ideological change and shift. And I can see that you want to do better. You want to move on. And I'm so glad that you're producing your own stuff as well. So I just see good things in your future now. And I hope you all the best. And thank you for being on the show. And all my love to you.
Thank you so much, Andy. You're such a sweetheart. I had a great time being here.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much.